Welcome back, everyone, to AI Brief episode 90. I'm Amin,
And I'm Leia.
and we're ready for another deep dive into the world of AI.
Absolutely. So much is happening right now. We've got a really interesting mix today.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly things are moving. Today, we're going to be talking about a new AI showing almost perfect results for cancer detection.
Also, Tencent just released their brand new reasoning model.
We'll also cover Perplexity's surprising move to try to take over TikTok.
Plus, we've got a brand new molecule generator and some big AI improvements to how Gmail search works.
And of course, we'll wrap it all up with all the other big AI updates and some awesome AI tools that can help you get more done.
Sounds great. Let's jump right in.
So we'll start off with some really exciting AI research. There's this new AI model that was just unveiled called ECGMLP. And what it's doing is detecting endometrial cancer from microscopic tissue images. And the crazy thing is it's doing it with 99.26% accuracy.
Wow. That's incredible. Can you put that in perspective for us?
Right now, doctors are using methods to diagnose endometrial cancer that are only about 78 to 81% accurate. So this new AI is a huge improvement. It uses something called specialized attention mechanisms. So basically, it means the AI can really zero in on the specific areas in an image that are most likely to show cancer cells. Like, think about how an experienced doctor would use their expertise to focus on the most important parts of an image.
Right. And the really encouraging thing is this team didn't just stop at endometrial cancer. They also ran this ECGMLP on a few other cancer types and saw some amazing results there, too. 98.57% accuracy for colorectal cancer, 98.20% for breast cancer, and 97.34% for oral cancer. So it really looks like we're seeing some huge potential for AI in medical diagnostics.
I mean, imagine if patients can get quicker and more accurate diagnoses. And if we can detect these cancers earlier on, treatment is going to be that much more effective. It could really be revolutionary. And think about this. AI doing these life-saving detection tasks better than humans means we could start to offer expert-level cancer screening all over the world. Like, you wouldn't be limited by where the specialists are geographically.
Absolutely. Access to expert-level care for everyone. That's the dream. All right, well, let's switch gears a little and talk about some cool developments coming out of China. Tencent, big tech company, just launched their new reasoning model. It's called Hunyuan T1.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. And they're saying it can go head-to-head with DeepSeek's R1 model in both performance and pricing.
Right. And Hunyuan T1 is super interesting because of how it's built. It's got this hybrid architecture, Transformer Mamba, they're calling it. And it's the first time we're seeing the specific combo in a model that's been released publicly.
Hybrid architecture. So what does that actually mean?
So it means they're combining two different approaches to how the AI processes information. The transformer part, well, it's really good at getting the connections between different words and ideas in a text. And then you've got Mamba. And Mamba is known for being super efficient when it comes to handling these really long streams of data. So they're basically getting the best of both worlds. Like, you're getting a broad understanding and you're getting speed all in one.
And Tencent saying this combo gives them twice the processing speed and they need less computing power, especially when they're working with really long pieces of text.
Pretty impressive. And as far as performance goes, in those benchmark tests, T1 is at least matching, and in some cases even beating DeepSeek R1. And it's even holding its own against OpenAI's older O1 and GPT 4.5 models.
Especially in math and understanding Chinese. That's where it's really shining.
Totally. And when it comes to the cost, they've kept it competitive. It's the same as DeepSeek's rates. 1 yuan, that's about 14 cents in the US, for every million tokens of input. And then it's 4 yuan, which is like 55 cents. Per million tokens for output. And I think this is really important because it shows that Chinese AI labs like DeepSeek, Tencent, and Alibaba, they're closing the gap with the big US companies. Things are really heating up.
Definitely. Everyone's waiting to see what Tencent does with their next-gen model, the R2. Some people are even saying China might take the lead.
Exciting times. Okay, so ready for a curveball. Perplexity, the AI search startup, well, they're trying to buy TikTok's US operations, like all of it.
That's a pretty big move,
Sure.
especially for a company that's still relatively new. It seems like Perplexity's got some big plans to change how TikTok works in the US. They're talking about rebuilding the whole recommendation algorithm from the ground up and making it way more transparent.
And they want to bring in American oversight, too. Plus, they want to really integrate their own search technology, the AI-powered stuff they're known for.
It sounds like a complete overhaul. They're saying they'd move all of TikTok's recommendation systems to data centers here in the US. And get this. They'd make the whole algorithm open source.
Open source, so anyone could see exactly how it works.
Exactly. And they want to build in Perplexity's AI citation stuff right into the TikTok videos. That way users can check where the info's coming from in real time.
Wow, that's a big transparency play.
Yeah.
And they're saying they want to use NVIDIA's Dynamo technology to make those recommendation models even more powerful and way faster.
And I think the most interesting part is how they're envisioning these two platforms working together. Like, you'd be able to see TikTok videos right there in your Perplexity search results. And Perplexity's search engine would be powering the searches inside TikTok.
That's really interesting. And considering all the stuff happening with TikTok and the deadlines, this could be huge.
Okay, so shifting gears again, let's talk about some really cool innovation in pharmaceuticals. This startup called OpenAI, they've got some serious backing from some of the biggest names in pharma. And they just announced Neo 1. They're calling it a revolutionary model, saying it's the very first one that can actually decode and design the building blocks of life at the molecular level.
That's a bold claim. What's it actually designed to do?
Well, the big idea behind Neo 1 is to use AI to find existing proteins within our cells and figure out how we can reuse them to fight all kinds of diseases.
Kind of like repurposing what our bodies already have to fight new threats.
Exactly. And OpenAI says Neo 1 is actually more versatile and more efficient than DeepMind's AlphaFold 3. And that one was already super impressive. They're saying Neo 1 can not only predict how proteins will fold, but it can also design completely new molecules at the same time.
So that could speed up the whole drug discovery process?
Big time.
That's huge. All right, so wrapping up our big AI updates. Get ready. Your Gmail is about to get a whole lot smarter. All thanks to some new AI magic they're adding to search. Google, or I guess Alphabet, is rolling out a new feature that's going to change how your search results get sorted. So instead of just going by date, they're going to rank everything by how relevant it is.
That makes a lot more sense. So how will they decide what's relevant?
They're going to be looking at things like which emails you've actually clicked on in the past, and they'll take into account who you talk to most often.
So it'll learn what you're actually interested in and prioritize that?
Exactly. And they're adding some other really cool Gemini-powered features to Gmail, too. Like, you'll be able to add events or meetings that are mentioned in emails straight to your Google Calendar. Just a couple of clicks and you're done.
Awesome. Super useful stuff. So beyond all these big headline updates, there's a whole bunch of really interesting developments happening in AI right now. For example, Anthropic, the company behind the Claude AI, well, they just launched a new tool for it called Think.
Interesting. What does it do?
So basically, it lets Claude break down really complex tasks into smaller steps. It makes it way more effective for things that need you to think in a structured way, like if you're outlining a big project or even trying to debug some code.
So it's more than just a language model. It can actually reason through problems step by step.
Right. And we're seeing some pretty big partnerships forming, too. There are reports that OpenAI and Meta are looking at teaming up with Reliance Industries in India, and there are even rumors that they might make ChatGPT a lot cheaper for users in India.
Interesting. And Kai-Fu Lee, he's a big name in AI, made some interesting comments about Sam Altman and his new startup, 0120AI. He said they're now using DeepSeek's open source AI models because they're way cheaper than what OpenAI offers.
Now, speaking of making things easier, Zapier just launched their new MCP protocol. And this could be a game changer for people who want to connect their AI assistant to a ton of different apps. We're talking over 8,000. And you don't need any complicated API stuff, so it makes AI way more practical to use in your daily work.
And that's always a good thing, making powerful tools accessible. But of course, there are always things to be mindful of with new technology. There's some new research that suggests that using ChatGPT a lot might actually be linked to more feelings of loneliness and being emotionally dependent on the technology.
Yeah. It's a good reminder that while AI can do some amazing things, we also need to understand how it could impact society as a whole.
Exactly. We can't just focus on the cool factor. All right, so in the world of AI startups, there's browser use. They're working on tech that makes websites easier for AI agents to navigate. And they just got a big $17 million investment to help them grow.
$17 million. That's quite a vote of confidence. And Bloomberg is saying that Apple might be putting AI-powered cameras into their smartwatches and earbuds. And if that happens, you could see some really cool features. Like, imagine getting real-time help with navigation. Or your earbuds could identify objects around you and even translate text on the fly.
On the fly. That's super cool, especially for travel. And speaking of Perplexity, not only are they trying to buy TikTok, but they also just announced their new agentic browser. Comet, they're calling it. It looks like they want to be a one-stop shop for all things AI and information.
And Meta, They're apparently testing a new AI-powered tool for Instagram that suggests replies to posts.
So that's meant to make conversations easier.
Yeah. But some people are worried about it. They're calling it AI slop and saying it'll just flood the platform with generic, unhelpful comments.
Interesting. All right. Well, NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, he's a big name in AI hardware, just announced they're building a new quantum computing lab at NVIDIA.
Quantum computing, that's pretty cutting-edge stuff. And he even said that he's changed his mind about how soon we might see quantum computing become practical. He thinks AI and quantum technologies are starting to merge in a big way.
And we've even got a story of how AI is being used to actually save lives. A man was successfully treated for a really rare blood disorder based on a suggestion from an AI system. And it was a suggestion that the doctors wouldn't have thought of themselves.
Wow. That's incredible. That's exactly what we're talking about when we say AI can unlock insights that humans might miss.
Totally. And finally, let's talk funding. BuildOps, they're working on AI for the construction industry, just secured $127 million. And National Grid Partners is investing $100 million into various AI projects.
Wow. So as you can see, the world of AI is just exploding right now. There are new breakthroughs and new ways to use AI popping up all the time across all these different industries.
All right, let's wrap things up with a quick rundown of some trending AI tools that you might find helpful.
Sure.
So for staying up to date with all the latest web info, there's Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which offers real-time web search capabilities.
Okay.
And if you need some help with text-to-speech or speech-to-text, OpenAI's GPT-4 and Transcribe are great options.
Awesome.
And if you're a visual learner, Google's Notebook LM now has a really cool interactive mind mapping tool built right in.
That sounds really useful.
And then there's KREA Video Training, which lets you train your own video AI models using your own video content to create those custom styles.
I can see how that would be fun to play around with.
And speaking of playing around, Viggle is a fun tool that lets you animate characters according to your desired movements. Now, if you're a student or just someone who likes to learn, Note can help you create quizzes, flashcards, study guides, and even practice tests from your notes.
That sounds like a lifesaver during exam season.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any others?
Yeah, for those of you who are active on social media, Beacons is an AI-powered platform that acts as a link aggregator and a social media marketing tool.
So a one-stop shop for all your social media needs.
Pretty much. And finally, for the developers out there, Erase AI can generate these self-updating code-based diagrams, which can be super valuable for documentation.
That's actually really cool.
It is.
So there you have it, folks. Another deep dive into the ever-evolving world of AI.
And as always, it's a wild ride.
Yeah, it really is. But hopefully you're all feeling a little bit more informed and maybe even a little bit more inspired.
We hope so.
And to make sure you don't miss out on any future deep dives, be sure to follow and share AI Brief.
And until next time, stay curious.